Neil Bartman.
All right, then that was South Africa for you. For Pakistan, you've got Naseem Shah. Who is sitting out, and Abrar Ahmed, and instead now we have Usman Tariq. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I really like him. It's different. Low shoulder, doesn't spin the ball a great deal, but it's just that he's accurate, and there's no pace on the ball at all, and he pauses for eternity and then delivers the ball. So that's why it's different, and that's why it's exciting.
Absolutely. Let's see what he can bring to the table, because like you rightly pointed out, he's played a lot of leagues around the world as well. Also, it just, in terms of variety, Ramiz, you've got, you see in the spin department around the world, you've got the leg spinner, the off spinner. So it's nice to have all options up your sleeve.
I think it's about foxing the opposition with spin, sleight of hand, try to be different, the wrist spin, the left arm wrist spin, the leg spinners are very much in demand. And I just feel that Pakistan with Tariq there adds a new kind of flavor. As far as South Africa, by the way, are concerned, they're not really pushed about what will happen to the contest, because they want to get some young faces in. And so what
Yeah, I think the key word for me is balance. I think both these teams have been blown out in their respective losses, and the takeaway point for well with batting end, of course, give yourself a bit of time up front. I think the first 2 overs you can really give yourself a little bit of time, because as bowlers as well, once batters are in overs number 3, 4, 5 and 6, it almost becomes free at every ball. So afford yourself the opportunity of getting used to the pace, the bounce of the surface, look at the amount of swing that's on offer, and then try and transverse the pressure back onto the bowling opposition side.
And Salman Mirza was one guy yesterday who did so well in that aspect. When you talk about the bowling, got the ball to swing as well. We talk about him and many other things as well, but it's time for a short breather. See you just in a bit. Well, Pakistan has won the toss and they have decided to bowl first. There's a couple of changes for them as well. But we were just talking about how to bowl in these conditions, and JP Dumini did a great demonstration out there on that pitch. One, when you talk about Salman Mirza, I mean, you saw his performance yesterday. What did you like about him as a fast bowler?
I really enjoyed his intensity with his start out, but I think he brought a good energy about him. Of course, he's slow, he's skiddy, so he always hits the bat a little bit harder than what you think. But the way that he's controlled that new ball is impressive to me, and I think that's exactly how you want to start in a T20 match. You want to start, of course, asking the right questions of batters, giving them that uncertainty in that first 2 overs, and of course, once you've set that platform, you give yourself the opportunity to strike. But wonderful yesterday, and I think the one thing that he's done wonderfully well is also summing up the conditions. I think South Africa, they've persisted with the pace off slower ball. He's gone with his quicker cutters, which has proven to be really, really successful on the surface. Yeah, I mean, if you can get the ball to swing at that pace, why not? And there's no better sight than swinging the ball back at the right hand at good pace up front. And there's the slow ball that I was talking about. Pace off, gripped in the surface, top of off. That's any coach's dream.
Absolutely. But it wasn't just him though, Ramiz. It was also Fahim Ashraf. He got 4 wickets at the end, and it seems to be, like we spoke to him yesterday in the post-match as well, he seems to be just growing as a player overall with the bat and the ball. Good to see for Pakistan. Good sign for
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Couldn't pick his deception actually. Salman Mirza's deception was also not picked, but what they did so well was a change of pace and variation and on target generally. Not easy to pick up 4 wickets in the dying part of the innings, because they are targeting you for 4s and 6s, and suddenly you get this guy who didn't bowl in the first game and bowled superbly with the variations and the hard length. I think that is where he was different also.
Why are you smiling, Vern? Is it because of Fahim not being utilised in the first game?
100%. I think I actually find it quite amazing, because he has the knack of picking up wickets. If we look back at it, first T20 international, it was the seamers that proven to be, the tougher, obviously, out of the bowlers to face and obviously get away. So really surprised that he hasn't bowled an over, but what a comeback. And I think we're going to see a lot more of him this evening.
Also a great comeback with the bat by Saim Ayub, and much needed as well. We've seen him
Thank
now
God
in
for
that. We've seen him in that all-rounder form now, where he's being utilised with the ball. But just for him, on a personal level, Ramiz, how important was it to get these runs?
Very important, because he's got plenty of talent. I mean, there's no question about his class in T20 eyes. I mean, he can play those audacious shots. I think at times, if your role becomes an all-rounder's role, it can get you get a muddled thinking when you go out there to bat, because you can't place yourself properly. Suddenly, there's extra pressure to bowl well, you're out of touch, and so that can play heavily on your mind also. But he's got to get used to this new all-rounder's role, and he's got to give himself time at the crease. It's so important for him to just see the ball for about over and a half, because he can recover the scoring chart or the scoring rate with the way he bats.
How important is that then, Vern, having clarity with regards to your role as a player?
I think of utmost importance. The one thing that I actually enjoyed about seeing him at first T20, I know a lot of people has criticised him for his scoring tempo, but he's afforded himself a little bit of time at the crease, and that you can't buy over the counter. Getting time out to the middle, gaining some confidence, and you could see last night he really went out and expressed himself. So of paramount importance that a young player like that do get time out in the middle. But again, to answer your question, to have the clarity in mind, the shot selections come to mind, and he was clear on every single stroke he played last night.
Also the significance of the power play in T20s. We're seeing pretty much a lot happens there, and then it sort of determines the course of the game. How important is it for Pakistan today to really sort of bowl well in those overs?
Yeah, I mean, it's important that they continue from where they left with the ball. And also, if, say, South Africa gets 170, how will then they tackle that 170s? Because 110 to get, there's clarity, even if you don't really get those 4s and 6s, you're going to win this. And so you can up the tempo anytime. But when you're down chasing 170 and if you lose a couple of wickets, then there's a problem in this batting lineup. So Pakistan need to have clear thinking. Who are your match winners? Who can do the deal? We have not talked about Babar Azam. He's now the highest run getter for you in T20 hours. So I feel that he'll have the flow now with that confidence that he's now at the top of the ladder. And you need a technician. You need a guy who's steady on a tough pitch who can play properly.
Absolutely. You said we haven't spoken about Babar Azam. This crowd here has been talking just about him.
I've never seen the crowd get so excited at a fall of a Pakistani wicket because they want to welcome Babar Azam. It's insane, really.
The kind of support that he has, it's quite incredible to have that kind of fandom actually when we talk about Babar. But just, what you made of his 11 run. It was 11 not out. The important thing is that he needs to carry on. For a player like him, how important is that? Quick one.
Yeah, I think we need to appreciate the longevity of careers like Baba. I think he's gone and he's established a name for himself, and that's why you get crowds coming in and watching players of his stature. So, again, wonderfully well done to him, and hopefully we can see a lot more of him in the future.
All right, then, we are ready now with all the action. The crowd is building up nicely. See you guys after the short break.